Hi there, thanks for joining me today. So we are racing a storm here today for our videoing, so hopefully the rain and thunder won't chase me in before I get this done. So I wanted to focus a little bit today on the mobility in our spine and our movement, so to help poses that help to maintain that. You know, we have a tendency to we can be very tight in the neck and shoulders, we can be very tight in the lower back, and we typically have limited mobility in the thoracic spine because the ribs attach to those vertebrae. So I'm going to give you some real easy, simple movements that are a great warm-up for all of those areas of the body, all up and down the length of the spine. So we're going to start in a table pose. So come to all fours with your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, and establish a neutral position first. So if you take the gaze a little bit in front of the hands and imagine that the crown of the head, the top of the head is reaching forward. So we're not craning the head forward at this point. We will lift the head and the chin, but we're thinking of finding this neutral position. We're pressing the hands away. We're thinking of lifting the heart a little bit so we find that nice neutral position. And we'll start with just some simple flexion and extension of the spine, or cat and cow. So take a nice inhale, think of the spine lengthening. As you exhale, rounding the back, draw the lower belly in and up, let the head release down, crown of the head release down towards the mat. Think of tucking the tailbone slightly. And then inhale, send the sit bones back, lengthening the front of the body, taking the gaze. Now we can take that gaze gently up, but don't crunch the back of the neck. So keep that going a few more times. Exhale. And inhale. Again, just finding that gentle flexion and extension here. It's a great warm-up for the spine. So one more exhale and inhale. And then as you exhale this time, just come back again into that neutral table position. And now bring awareness to your hips and your lower back. And we're going to start to make a small circle with the hips. So thinking of your knees as your pivot point, just start to make a small circle of the hips around that circumference of the knees. So just making a small circle. So if a small circle feels comfortable for you, stay in that smaller circle. If it feels comfortable to spiral that circle out and make the circle a little bit bigger, feel free to do that too. So you might find yourself shifting your hips back towards the heels and then shifting the weight forward towards the hands. But if that small circle feels better for you, stay in that small circle. So again, this is a great release for the lower back. And make sure you're breathing. And then notice which direction your circle is going. And we're going to stop the movement. And then we're going to circle the other direction. So as you go the other way, again, start small. Make that small circle. And as you go the second direction, it might feel more or less natural to make that circle bigger. So listen to what your body's saying. Again, you might stay in that small circle, or you might expand that out. Just notice sensation that you're feeling in the hips and the lower back. Good. A couple more times. Again, just find that nice stretch. And then once again, gently come back to center, back to that table pose. So you might need to adjust the hands and the knees a little bit with that movement if you've moved out a little bit. So now we're going to take that circular movement idea into the ribs. So let your elbows bend and think of letting the chest and the chin dip a little bit down towards the mat, and just make a big circle, again, as big or small as is comfortable for you, of the ribs. So circling the ribs. And you can decide whether you want to let the head get into the movement, letting the crown of the head release down, or just, how much the shoulders move. Again, just notice, where your body moves, where you might feel some restriction. Make sure you're breathing. And again, notice the direction that you're circling and then go the opposite way. And as you go the opposite way, again, start with a little bit more conservative of a movement and then expand that out if that feels comfortable for you. One more nice circle around and then come back again to your neutral position, table pose. Now bring the big toes together, bring the knees towards the outside edges of the mat and the hands towards the outside edges. Send your hips back towards your heels, let the forehead release down towards the mat. If you don't come all the way comfortably, if your head doesn't come all the way down, you can rest your, stack up your hands and rest your forehead on your hands. You can have a couple of books or a yoga block or something, but just let your head relax comfortably down. And we'll take a couple breaths here. This is a great stretch for the hips and the lower back. Inhale and exhale. And then very gently bringing awareness to where the forehead is in contact with either your mat or a block or a book or your hands. But gently let the head roll to one side and then roll back across the forehead and let the head roll the other direction. So now we're taking that movement to the cervical spine, to the neck. And again, even with the sensation, you may feel it as you move. You may feel sensation down the side of the body. Just notice what you feel. Again, just gentle. Let the head be as heavy as it is. It weighs about between 8 to 12 pounds. Think of your lovely bowling ball of the head, just gently releasing to the mat. And then letting the head come back to center. Pause for a breath. Inhaling and exhaling. And then press into the hands. Lift the torso slightly. And we're going to walk our hands a little over to the left side of the mat. Maybe even that left hand walks a little off the side of the mat. Forehead again can release down. You can stack your head up on the hand or make a fist, or again use a book or a block if your head doesn't come comfortably down. But little lateral flexion here, a little stretch to the side of the body. And then press into the hands and lift the torso back up. Walk yourself back to center. Pause here, that nice neutral position. And then press into the hands, lift the torso up. Now walk your hands over towards the right side. Again, maybe that right hand walks off the mat a little bit. Let the forehead release down. Use support for the head if you need. And again, one side might be different than the other. A nice opening all the way up the side of the body. And then once again, press into the hands, lift the torso, walk yourself back to center. Pause here for a breath. Inhale and exhale. And then press into the hands, come back up to your table pose. Again, wrist under shoulders, knees under hips. And once again, as you exhale, let's round the spine into that nice cat pose. Get a good stretch. Inhale, lengthening the front of the body. Take the gaze gently up into our cow pose. Now come to neutral, come to your table pose once again, and then bring the hands in front of the shoulders, really press into the fingertips, base of the knuckles, curl the toes under, really draw the lower belly in and up as you lift the knees a couple inches off the mat, engage those core muscles, and then begin to send your sit bones up and back, staying up on your toes, knees bent, that knee downward facing dog. Get nice length in the spine. Think of lengthening from the crown of the head to the tip of the tailbone. If you'd like, you can pedal the feet, press down through one heel, get a nice stretch on the back of that leg, and then bend that knee and then switch to the opposite side. Nice and slow here. And then once again, bend both knees, again staying on the toes. And then pedal your feet and walk your feet gently towards your hands, or maybe walk your hands back towards your feet to meet in the middle, whichever feels comfortable for you. Knees bent, take hold of opposite elbows. Just let the crown of the head dangle down. Again, nice forward bend here, a little traction for the back. Inhaling and exhaling. You can let the upper body swing a little side to side if you'd like. And then coming back to center, bring the hands, or the elbows rather, right to the tops of the knees. A lift out of the shoulders, a nice flat back. So we're going to gradually come up, protecting the back, nice neutral position here. I almost think of jump position here. And then hands on the thighs, straighten the arms. Again, come up a little modified chair pose. And then inhale, come all the way up to standing. As you come up to standing, just come to your mountain pose. Inhaling and exhaling, float the arms all the way overhead. Lift the heart in the sternum. Bring the palms together. Exhale, bring the hands to the heart. Let's do that a couple more times. Just a little stretch. Inhale, float the arms up. Nice length through the front of the body. Exhale, palms down to the heart. Good, one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And then just let the eyes close for a moment. And just notice how you feel. Notice your breath. And then gently let the eyes open. So there is a warm-up that you can do for your spine. Again, nice warm-up from the lower part of the back, the lumbar spine, the thoracic spine, cervical spine. So anytime that you feel a little creaky, little stuck, that's a really good little warm-up to do. You can do that also too. It's really slow, gentle, relaxing. It's something you can do before you go to bed too. You know, if you're feeling like throughout the day your back has gotten tighter and tighter and tighter, that's something that you can do right before you go to bed. So just a nice release. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I hope to see you again soon, either in the saddle or on the mat. Thanks. Bye-bye.